Okay, so far we have seen whatever Canva supports, like anything for social media or websites or Snapchat filters also sometimes, and your branding and all that. So now let's put our knowledge to test. We'll try designing a small poster or one of the posts which I found. So I find this graphic designer very interesting. His name is Tad Carpenter, and you can check his profile out on Dribble. Dribble is sort of like an online portfolio for designers. So it's much advised for you guys to have an account in Dribble if you really aspire to be in this field. Dribble has, a display of whatever the artist has done so far, and you can just have a closer look at any of his design, and you can, hire them as well here, or you can tweet them on, and you can connect to them in many websites and platforms. So we will be taking a look at one of his designs. So a few years ago, he designed this particular website for a concert. So I'll be telling you how to recreate this poster using Canva. So even though it doesn't really seem like it's the exact poster, we will be doing it up to almost 98%, and we will try to make it as similar as possible. Okay, so let's just get started. This is the poster which we have right now, and we'll just go to Canva. So since whatever we are doing is a poster, it makes sense to go and have to see a dimension from this itself. Okay. And since I'll not be using any template, I will just go for a blank one. One thing you have to know is that when you're designing anything, you have to break your design up into elements. So each element will be different, and you can move them around here and there, and you can bring them forward or backward, or you can attach them anywhere or group them with something else, and you can move that one. Since through the course of these videos, I guess we have a clear idea on how these elements work. So what we're doing is that this poster is just a simple combination of the so-called elements which you'll be seeing. So they're just basic things which you can find in Canva website itself. Or sometimes if you're not really satisfied with it, you can definitely go ahead and search for these on Google, and then you can upload them on Canva so that you can have a much accurate representation of it. Okay, like I said, everything is elements, a mixture of elements. So we will just begin with the outermost layer. Okay, it makes sense to so first thing when you're going ahead with this approach is that you have to identify what kind of element it is. So as you can see, this particular last background has sort of like stripes coming into one point, or some stripes going out. It's really not clear because it's it's like at the behind. So the closest thing we can probably take for this is I'll just go to this elements tab right here, and I'll just try searching for how much ever random stuff I can. So I'm just going to type for illusion. Okay, you can also type for optical illusion or anything like that. Okay, so this search gave me this as the closest result, so I don't think there's anything else remotely similar to that. You can also Google this, and you can download that image, and you can go ahead with that. Since we will be trying an all Canva approach, I guess I'll be going ahead with this one. Okay, so you just drag and drop this. This is the most similar one, and okay, I'll just try putting it in the middle, and you can extend both ways. Okay, just extend it as much as you can. Okay, so and then now you can move this so that you get to the center. Okay, I guess that's center enough. Now, the thing is, this is not the color as it's mentioned in the poster, and also the background is not same. So we can just change the background first. So when this is white, so the background which we have to work with is clearly black. So we'll just put black to it, and okay. Now we're going to place this in the center here, and just click on this color here, and then you have the option to change it. So one thing you have to be aware of is that you have to be aware of these hexadecimal codes of the color. This is normally used in CSS to have a much more accurate color. Okay, so one way of doing that is that you can go to this website W3 Schools, and you can have your color picker. Just hover over here, and then it gives you what color it is, and then if you just click on it, it will show the percentage of colors in it, and also these codes are the ones you have to look out for, because if you just copy this and paste it in this, you'll get your color. Okay, so right now we will need something red, I guess. So yeah, something between red and maroon, I guess. And we will check for a color. Okay, I guess this is a little similar. I'll just go a little down with this. Okay, I guess we got something very similar to this, and we will try out the color code, and let's just try this 92E19. Okay, so that's changed. Now you can see your poster coming together, isn't it? Okay, so the next part you have to go through is the yellow triangles. So they look like triangles, so we'll just go back to these shapes here and obtain from them. Okay, so we got shapes and we got our triangle. It's right here. So you just drag and drop this, and you can rotate it here to get the proper, or you can just directly flip this right here. Okay, you can see that here. Let's flip. Okay, and we are going to be extending this. A little more. Okay, so now again there's a problem with the color, so we will be changing the color. We will use the same method, and since I already know the color, we will be using this one. Okay, we got the color. Okay, so now this particular part is over, and what we have, the next element, is you have to make concentric circles. So I'm just going to show you briefly on how to do that. Just drag and drop this circle here. Before that, we'll just give a try on what these elements have to offer. I'm just going to type concentric circles. Okay, so this search isn't really any good. Let's try this. Yeah, it's really not good. So I guess we can make our own circle here. Okay, so I'll just tell you how to go about with it. The first thing is that you have to change this color, and since you already have documented these, the colors are readily available in your palette so that you can have them at a quicker access. Okay, so now we got this, and now drag and drop another circle right in front of it, right on top of it, so that you have a better idea, and just reduce the size a little bit, how much ever you want, and I just guess you can reduce a little more. Okay, Okay, so now you know that it's in the center, and we're going to change the color of this to black. Okay, so you can see that this is a concentric circle. We're going to do it for a few more layers, and then I'm going to tell you how to group them. Okay, I'm just going to reduce this a little more. Change the color again. There we have it. Again, drag and drop. Do this process for how many ever layers your image has. So at this point, I guess I'm going to be going for around 6 layers to get maximum precision. Black, and this has to be one other circle for the elements. Circle. Okay, change it to black, and we will just see the last one. I'm going to make this red as per our convenience. Okay, so now you have something similar to what you have seen before. I guess we will be needing one more layer just in case. We'll just add. So I'll go to position, and let's push it backward, like the most back, and just click on that, and just change the color again to black. Okay, and again drag and drop this to this, and we're going to change the color to red and push this back again. Okay, so this is not exactly aligned. We'll just align it, and then we can move further. Okay. Just check on where the center is, and I guess you'll be good to go from there. Okay, now we have our concentric circle. So what the problem you will get now is that if you try to move this, if only this particular circle moves, because they're all different elements, so you just have to group them together so that you can pull them together and move them wherever you want, and just click somewhere on your poster and just drag it until you cover all the elements, and you have this option here, group. Just group it. So now they have become one single element, and you can see you can just drag it wherever you want. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, and we will paste it here. Okay, so now that you're done with this, okay, just paste here, I guess the most center. Okay, that's our closest one. Just push it forward with this. We can also extend the circle however we want. Again, this is up to us. So we just keep like this, I guess. A little more. And make sure that it's in the centermost area. Okay, the next element which we have is the guitar. And I'm just going to have a random search of guitar. Okay, and I'm going to see if something similar pops up. So it takes some time for, oh, it's right here. Okay, it takes some time for us to patiently search for what material we want, and put them in our element like that. Okay, I guess we're good with this. Yep. Okay, so now that we can see that our guitar is not exactly like how we have seen it in the picture. So if we just click on this, you have these three options, and these three colors are used in this particular element. And if you just click on this and change the color to wherever you want, you can have you can have a color change of wherever that particular color is there with your newly allocated color. So this is my innermost thing, and that's black, so I'm just going to change it to black. That's done. And this one is mainly red in color, so it's already there in the documented color, so even that is done. And then the last one is the yellow. Oh, that's also done. Okay, there you have it. Now you have replicated the guitar successfully. I'm just going to reduce this one a bit to achieve more accuracy. Okay. And what you have next is this big trapezoid. It's actually a hexagonal, but it's squished a little bit so that you have that particular image. So again, everything will be available in Elements. You just have to go and have the patience to look through each and every one of them. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and check out whatever shapes are available for this. Okay, now it's loaded. We will just check. So we have a pentagon, and we have this. Oh, that's close enough, I guess. So we can just squish this as much as we can by elongating it on both sides. This much is enough, and just try squishing it over here. Just have a better look. You can also rotate it, or you can just flip it. Okay, let's just rotate it so that it has this 90-degree angle, and we can go ahead. So like I said, we'll since we are using only Canva approach, we will be aiming for a little more similarity and less accuracy, like that. Or sometimes if you don't have this, you can just again Google it and come and paste it back. Okay, we can see that the color is here. Just going to drag it down. Okay, and we have actually forgotten another element. There has to be this. Okay, before that, let's just put it back on. Okay, this is sorted. Okay, now because our backmost spiral object is not very accurate as what we've seen, this black is not very much seen with contrast to the background, and we'll just let it be like that, and then we can make a few more changes. We have forgotten this one, the big circle behind, so I'm just going to go back to Elements, and we're just going to drag this one, and I think I'm going to make it this big. Okay, and going to change the color, and we're going to push it back. I don't know, too back. Okay, so that's done, and we'll take care of the text later. The next one which we have to be seeing is these thunderbolts which are emerging outside. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so now that I'm in Elements itself, I'll just type lightning. Let's see what comes up. We have to check if something similar is there to this. Otherwise, again, you can download a PNG image from Google, or if you're a pro user, you can just remove the background in this itself. Okay, we'll have a look a little more. I guess this is pretty similar to it. If we change the color, just have it, we'll just try it. Okay, no, I think we got something very similar to this one. Okay, just drag and drop, and we will flip it vertically. Okay, sorry, not this way. Okay, just drag it again, so sorry, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay, rotate it to 90 degrees, and looking at this, it has to be placed somewhere over here, so I guess it has to be a little smaller than that. Okay, something like this, and I'm gonna have to flip it, sorry, this way. Okay, I guess that's somewhat similar to what we have here, except that we didn't find the exact replica. But since again, like I keep repeating, we'll be having a pure Canva based approach for this. And if we just change the color for this one, we will have a better image of it. Okay, so this actually is embedded with an effect, so I don't think we're able to change the colors. We'll just try with some other lightning bolt. There are a lot available, as you can see. Okay, we'll try this one, and just rotate it. I guess we got the closest one. Okay, rotate it and put it here, and then we're going to flip it. Okay, and slightly rotate it so that it's this way. Okay, and okay, there are some elements again which you can't edit the default design, so you have to let it be like that. Again, you can try around a lot of stuff here. Okay, we'll just stick with one. Yes, this. Okay, again, this is transparent. I don't think we can change the color. So this is all about experimenting and trying out with as many elements as you can to give the best results, so that it resembles the closest. I guess the ones on top itself are fine. Let's just try this one. Okay, for this we can change the color. We'll have a look first. Gotta change it into this color. Oh, voila, that's done. Gotta change it again. Okay, although it's not very similar to this, we just got the most we just got the closest one to our design, and I'm gonna this is fine. And just the same thing, I'm just going to Control C and Control V this, so that it's just copied and pasted, and stick it over here at the other side, and I'm going to be flipping it vertically so that I get the other part of this. Okay, let's just reduce the size a little bit. Okay, all these guidelines are there to help us see how much sizing we're doing and how much we will be needing to do, so that they all stay on the same lines on wherever we want it to be. Just going to tilt it a little bit. Okay, tilt this one a little bit. Okay, I guess we have something a little close to it, and we can move on. Okay, so just gonna place this a little more up. Okay, closer. This seems fine. Okay, the next thing is, again, the same triangle is copied downstairs, so you can just copy and paste it instead of going through the entire thing again. Okay, now we are copy pasted, and I'm just going to flip this. I'm just going to rotate it to the opposite direction. Okay, so you can see the angles coming out. So right now I'm at angle 0, so it's fine. Okay, so it should be at least this much of length. We'll see. And then position, just push it backwards a little bit. Okay, we have it now. And then the same thing is continued again, but we will have to get another element before we add that lightning bolt again. Okay, and now we'll be needing a rectangular element. Okay, so just gonna squeeze this and gonna place it here, and all I'm going to do is extend it. That's all. And it's simple to change the color, so it's changed. Okay, so we have copied this, and let's try flipping it horizontally like this and reducing the size so that it's almost accurate. Okay, this is done. A little more closer, it's done. Okay, copy and paste the same thing again so that you don't have to really change majority of the design. And all I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to flip it the other way. Sorry, the other way here. Okay, and just get it in par with this one, and we're going to send this behind this element. Okay, yep, so we are almost done with this, and all we have to do now is add the text. Okay, before that we have another element. So to do these house features, we can look for that, or you can also use the old grouping method which we have seen earlier. Okay, we'll just try grouping it for now. Okay, so this is done, and for this square element we will be adding a rectangle, sorry, a triangle, my bad. Okay, so this will be around 90 degrees, and I'm going to make it similar to this. And okay, I'm going to change the colors, change this color as well. Okay, so this is done, and now I'm just going to group it so that it doesn't give me too much trouble when I'm trying to move it. Okay, it's done. Okay, now I just resized it. Okay, just gonna copy this, and I'm gonna be pasting it here. So it's here, and okay, let's try it here. Okay, so it's at the center almost, so I guess that's the thing which we're going for, and see if there's adequate space left between here. Copy and paste this again, and we're going to hold it here, and we will try to rotate it the opposite way, so it's around 180 degree. Okay, and okay, it's in par with its partner almost. Okay, now the only thing left for us to do is to add text. Okay, so we'll be adding text. So you can just add a normal heading, and then you can go around and look for your desired font later. So I'm just going to be doing that. So this is not where I want it. Just going to drag it here so that it's much easier for me to see what's going on. Okay, and just maybe increase the font size a little bit so that I can have a better look. Okay, so from what I'm actually seeing is that this has a little bit of a modern approach. Okay, just click here and here for us to have better look. So it's either corporate or modern. So if you have followed the beginner tutorial for Canva, we have discussed about different types of fonts and how and what categories they come under, and when we have to use which font. Okay, so there's nothing similar to this as for now. So this way you can just have a little bit of digging so that you have the most accurate font available to you. Meanwhile, you can just check out some other font which is available. Okay, this is not fine. We'll just try for this one, another modern font which I have seen before. Okay, I guess it's a little similar. We'll just have a look. Okay, so it's changing and this is changed. Okay, so we have to type. So it's when you're doing letters as well, it's better you keep them as separate elements so that you can move them around. You can move them around independently. Just copy paste the same text box and you can make changes to this. Okay. Now you can see the font can be around somewhere in hundreds, a little more than this. This seems fine for me for now, and just try to set this also in the same font. Okay, so this looks pretty aligned, and now all we have to do is change the yellow for this again. Okay, so I guess we can do a little more better with this font. So we're just going to type in some random font size to see how well it covers up. I guess this is fine. 59 was used, so we'll just stick to that itself. Okay, so we're done with this. Okay, let's try moving it to see what would happen. And we will be using the same, the other one which is below also looks like the same font, so we're just going to be adding that as a subheading. Okay, it's really tiny. And we're just going to increase the font size again. Looks a little bit tinier than that, so we're going to go with this, I guess. We'll see what's going to happen now. Okay, so we'll just change the address. So remember that we are making the text as different elements so that it's easier for us to move around. Okay, just change this. Okay, it's done. Just going to copy paste this again so that we have another element for the last line. Okay, so now all we have to do is align these and we'll be good to go. So the first thing will be this one. Let's just try reducing the font size. Okay, and this as well. No, we can just extend the text box to see how much it's going to extend. Yes, we can reduce it a little more so that it stays in this self. Keep it the same font size for everything so that it's much easier to read, much more legible, and you don't want too much going on in your design since this is a maximalist approach of designing your product. Okay, and then increase this as well. Okay. you can use the arrow marks to move your elements in a much finer precision. If you use the arrow marks, it's just it gets adjusted to the defaulted guidelines which are already set. But with arrows, you have the privilege of making these very, very, very tiny and minute changes. Okay, so we have forgotten to change the font color, so we'll be doing that right now. Okay. Okay, so the only thing which we have to add right now is these numbers. The numbers also look around the same font, so we're just going to try adding that. So it says 03, and the color which we'll be going for is this one itself. Okay, and just move it and place it here. Norwester. Okay, and copy paste this to bring it here, just to align it properly. 24. Okay, so now a really tiny detail is left out. We will just be adding that, and we'll be moving on with our design. Okay, so it should say 18, so it says, and we'll reduce the font size a little bit, I guess a little bit more. That's a little too much. 48. Okay, I guess this is fine. And we're using arrows again to make changes to this. Okay. Okay, so I guess we are done, because this is the most we can achieve with only Canva based elements. So I guess we have come very close in copying the same exact poster however we want, but there might be a little bit of dissimilarities between the colors, because they might vary at a slight tint or at a slight shade. But I guess we have achieved our goal in replicating one of the good designers' poster, and I hope this has been very insightful for you all on how to use elements and how to create your own poster from scratch, like literally from scratch. Thank you.